What's up, everybody? Alex here. Welcome back to another video. Welcome back to a little bit of a clickbaity show some record video. For those who know or have watched some of these videos, I love doing this stuff, and I'm excited to share this dollar haul with you. So, bit of context quickly. I don't go to like estate sales or thrift stores or anything like that. Whenever I've done any of this quote unquote digging, it's always at a local record shop, always at a local record store. A lot of them here do dollar sales or $5 sales or whatever, and I just try to be in the right place at the right time. So this past weekend, my favorite shop in town, Elizabeth's Records, small mom and pop shop, had a sidewalk dollar sale. A bunch of overstock, some, scratch and dent, whatever you want to call it type stuff. Everything was $1. And here's what I'll tell you and why I love Elizabeth's Records so much. They only deal in used records, so they don't deal with new records. And their grading and condition is always top notch. They are so honest. Their prices are so perfect. So a lot of times I've gone into some dollar sales and there's a reason they're $1. I mean, they're just unplayable. They're beat to hell. They got dicks drawn all over them, all that type of stuff. Sometimes we pay extra for that, but not today. But Elizabeth's, it's like I knew going in there, like, yeah, they might not be perfect records, but they're going to be playable and they're going to be in reasonably good condition for what they are. They just have a small shop. So sometimes they just have to move product, and that's what this is all about. So I have, I think, 35 or so records here to show you. These were all $1. There are some absolute bangers, and there's some other ones that are just like, no, that's going to be great to have in the collection for $1. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. A little bit of everything. First thing now, I actually just saw this record being talked about on one of my favorite podcasts, The Album Years, with Steven Wilson, and they were talking about 1972. And this record, Invitation to Open, is from Les McCann. Jazzy, I wouldn't necessarily call it funk, although it probably falls under a little bit of like soul funk, but this is really falls more in line with sound wise, a little bit more like Bitches Brew type stuff from Miles Davis. Very, very moody, long, extended songs. 1972. It was cool hearing about this record, and man, I mean, it's in great condition here. Disc is in good shape. Very cool record. I got a chance to listen to this. Awesome. This is by no means a, like a $35 record or anything like that, but I figured I just need it. I see it all the time, and so to have it for $1, why not? Stevie Wonder's greatest hits. Now, this was before like that golden period that Stevie would get into, in the mid to late 70s, but this has got all the classic early stuff in here as well. Stevie Wonder greatest hits. Awesome. A cool progressive rock / pop band. I think they're from the Netherlands, and that is Kayak here. This is Royal Bed Bouncer. This was the 1975 maybe. Very cool band that sort of a lot of people don't talk about. They were on the Janus record label. But yeah, Royal Bed Bouncer from Kayak. Very cool. Well, we lost this guy earlier this year, which is really too bad. He's put out a gazillion records, but all gazillion are really good. This is another early one on London that I did not have. I'm sorry, on Polydor, not London. USA Union from John Mayall. Just awesome stuff. Everything in this period is so good. And so anytime I can find his stuff, I always pick it up. For the funk and soul people out there, there is some good funk and soul here. This is a band or a group I see all the time, and I'm excited to have my first of the records in the collection. This is Just Outside of Town by Mandrill. 1973, I believe. This is also on Polydor. Yeah, I don't know a ton about Mandrill. Again, I've just seen them. I've heard about them. I think there is some good old school funk. I mean, you can just tell by the cover there, right? So that's going to be awesome. Okay, couple of bangers coming for you here. These two were $1. I own both of these albums, multiple copies of these albums, but they just looked too good to pass up. And I said, whatever, worst case, I can just give them out and people will enjoy them. But it's a copy of Abbey Road. Now, again, I was looking at this and I said, okay, there's a little bit of ring wear there, but there must be something wrong with the disc. I pulled the disc and it looked good too. I played it this morning. This is now my player copy. I kid you not, it was that good. Now, what I love about Abbey Road, other than it just being a great record, is the collector side of Abbey Road, right? For those who know, there's all types of the pressing variants early on. because Her Majesty, which was the hidden track, is not listed because it was a hidden track, but then on some pressings it's listed on the cover, but not on the label, and vice versa, and all that type of stuff. So I'm curious how this compares to the other pressings that I have. I will say that there is no Her Majesty on the cover or the label of this, which leads me to believe it's a very early, if not first US pressing. And so, I mean, it's my player copy now. Absolutely amazing. Here's another one that had a little bit of sleeve issue. I don't know if it was water damage, or you can kind of see, I don't know if you can tell here, the sleeve is a little bit warped. But again, the record looked clean. I was just playing it about 20 minutes ago, and I might Frankenstein it because the record is in such good shape. But it's another copy of Wish You Were Here from Pink Floyd, 1975. Man, what a record this is. I had just found this record for $1 a couple weeks ago, and I found another one for $1, and it's great. Absolutely amazing. So there are two of the absolute bangers. Back to some other stuff. This was a cool record. I never see this. So this is Iron Butterfly Metamorphosis. I mean, Iron Butterfly sort of is one of these proto-hard rock, proto-metal bands out of the States. And you always see In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida. Sometimes you see Ball. Sometimes you see Heavy, all that type of stuff. I rarely see Metamorphosis. So, again, this is not like a gold mine of a record or anything, but very cool to add this to the collection, Iron Butterfly. What a band. Oh, Banger Central again. Again, I own this record, and so I feel bad because it's like, I don't have intentions of flipping these, but it's like it's too good to pass it for $1. Arguably the best comp, I said it, arguably the best comp in rock and roll history. It's the Kink Chronicles. Yeah, a little bit of ring wear, but the discs look pretty damn good to me. I mean, look, if you see this, if you're a Kinks fan and you see this out there, buy this record. Usually this is probably like a $15 to $25 record. But buy this record if you're out there. This is one of the best comps ever. It includes some hits, includes some deep cuts, includes some non-album tracks, all that type of stuff. Kink Chronicles, what a comp this was. I think this was put out by Reprise right when they were switching over to RCA, and so to sort of capitalize on that. But this is an incredible, one of the best comps in rock and roll history. Man, I love this band. And this, this is one of these bands where it's like you see this, again, old school funk, soul, that type of stuff, but it's Booker T and the MGs. This is Hip Hugger. Love that. What a cover that is. 1967 on the Stax label. Yeah, the Stax stuff, a lot of this old school funk stuff is usually a little bit beat up, but this looked good enough for me for $1 for sure. And anytime I can add some Booker T to the collection, I'm going to do it. Let's jump to the complete other end of the world. I didn't even know these cats did a record together, but I don't even know if it's good. If people know out there, but it's Neil Schon, yes, that Neil Schon from Journey, and I guess Santana's band, and Jan Hammer, yes, that Jan Hammer, doing a record together. This, I think this came out in 1981. This was on Columbia, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's going to be more fusion-y stuff, if it's going to be more like 80s. That looks big time 80s. But man, yeah, look at that. The guitar, Jan and the guitar, Neil there ripping it up. So, I got no idea, but I'm kind of excited for this. It's going to be very 80s, but I love both Neil's playing and Jan's playing. I did not know this was such an expensive record. I didn't have it, but when I put it in the Discogs, I was like, dang, I guess that people pay a good amount. A good amount, we're talking, $10, $15 or whatever, but a Principle of Moments from Robert Plant. What was this, 83? Yeah. Obviously, anytime I add some Robert Plant to it, good stuff. Let's see. Peter Banks, I think, who was the original guitarist in Yes. After he was out of Yes and Steve Howe came in, he began a prog band called Flash. Terrible cover. All their covers are terrible and really focused just on like misogyny and that type of stuff. But a really decent prog band. So I have In the Can, Flash in the Can, which is a really strong record, but I think this is their debut. So yeah, we're talking early mid-70s here on the Capitol Sovereign label. Good stuff there from Flash. Here's a record that's probably worth $1. But that's okay. I was shown on a previous haul video that I was really getting into Leon Russell. Just love his stuff. His stuff is so cheap and accessible, and it's just, you can fill out a collection for so cheap. So if I saw any Leon, I picked it up. But this is Leon and Mary Russell wedding album, 1976. Again, I didn't listen to this. I don't know how good this is. If you're a Leon fan out there, let me know. It might be terrible, but it was $1. I don't care. It's part of the collection. Roll with it. Now, I will say this is the find. This was the steal of the trip for the jazz fans out there. I got this, and admittedly, the sleeve was in two pieces. So I actually taped the sleeves together. No shame. I don't care. The record looked like it was, dragged through I don't know, dragged through a crack house or something. But I was like, you know what? It's $1. Worst case, you know, you're out of McDouble. It's fine. You didn't need that burger anyway. But it's The Quest from Mal Audrin, of course, with Eric Dolphy and Booker Ervin. Later reissues actually had this credited under Eric Dolphy. This is a second pressing on Prestige, on the Blue Prestige, not the original New Jazz. But this came out 1962. This copy is from 1965. I played this morning, and it plays really, really good. I mean, if I was going to put a grade on it, right, like, you know, the sleeve was in 2 pieces, so I'm putting that in, like, G territory. The record, yeah, there's constant noise, there's constant pops, but sometimes it's like that's okay. I mean, this is selling right now for $180 on Discogs. Again, you know, apples and oranges, but $180 on Discogs. This was $1. I have no interest in selling this. What a cool find this one was, though. The Quest from Mal Audrin. What a record. This has come up a couple of different times in some live streams of people talking about Chicago blues. There's a lot of talk about Chicago blues, some of the Chicago bands. And Siegel Schwall has been brought up a couple of different times. So I had to pick this up. This is called Sleepy Hollow. This was 1973, maybe, 72. On Wooden Nickel, and it's a promo on Wooden Nickel, which is super cool. Wooden Nickel, if you don't know, they were a label out of Chicago, mostly known for obviously their Chicago bands, Styx being one of them before Styx Jump Shark went over to A&M. But yeah, this was really cool to see this, not only to finally see a Seagull Schwall, I don't even know if that's how you say it, record, but the fact that it was a Wooden Nickel promo is really cool. Can't believe I didn't have this record, but at the same time, you know, if I can find it for $1, I'm going to do it that way. And it's the self-titled debut solo record from Ian Hunter. Fresh off his Mott the Hoople stuff. And yeah, this kicks off with Once Bitten, Twice Shy, later covered as a huge hit from Great White. But yeah, you got Mick Ronson on here. He's coming from the Spiders and of Mars, all that type of stuff. Yeah, cool record, Ian Hunter. Good stuff. This is a special shout out to my boy Sam St. John, or whatever he's calling his channel these days. He told me all about this Rock Pile, Seconds of Pleasure. So Rock Pile, they were, I guess, kind of super group with Nick Lowe, Dave Edmunds. Kind of power poppy, kind of new wavy, kind of, you know, boot scoot and biddly, whatever that is. Yeah, again, not an overly expensive record, but heck yeah, man, what a lineup that is, and in really great shape. So excited to have that. You all know I'm a big fan of progressive rock or whatever, so this was a cool little find, especially because at first I thought it was just a comp of stuff I already had, but then I was like, no, it's the 2 I don't have, and that is this comp, I guess, that Mercury put out, more of a 2-for-1 sort of situation, Keith Emerson with The Nice. Now, I believe, and if there's fans of The Nice out there, if you don't know, The Nice is the band that Keith Emerson led before he jumped to ELP. This combination, this double LP, is the 2 live records they put out, Elegy and 5 Bridges. And so I have the 3 studio records on immediate, but I did not have the live records. And so I think that's what this is. I could be wrong there. Let me know if I am, but really excited to have that for $1. The Nice and Keith Emerson just doing some work for sure. Cleveland's Own, again, some more funk, some more soul. You know, this is, I think, one of these individuals where if I see something of his, I'm going to grab it, mostly because he's amazing, but also because he's from Ohio. And that's Bobby Womack. This is Looking for a Love Again. This came out in 1973-ish or so. Could be wrong in that range. I mean, Bobby Womack, I think his big, huge hit was Across 110th Street, which was featured in the Tarantino film Jackie Brown, which is just an amazing song. But yeah, Cleveland's Own Bobby Womack, good funk, early funky soul. Speaking of early funky soul, I got one Christmas album. They had a whole bin of Christmas albums. I have enough Christmas albums. I do like Christmas music, but I'm kind of picky about what I want to get now. But I saw this, I was like, there's no way I could pass this up. And it's Funky Christmas. This came out in the mid to late 70s on Cotillion. Now, the thing that got me, though, not only was it called Funky Christmas and it was $1, but the first name on there was Lou Donaldson, man. I mean, an incredible sax player who obviously spent years on Blue Note. There's a whole bunch of guest musicians on here. I haven't listened to it, but it's called Funky Christmas and it's got Lou Donaldson on it. How bad can it be? That's going to be awesome. Not a Guilty Pleasure. This is funny. I think this is an artist that so many people have heard the title track from this record so many times. In fact, I think the story is this was the album or the track that kept Hotel California from the #1 spot. Look it up. And that's Al Stewart, Year of the Cat, 1976. You know, Year of the Cat, again, you've heard the song a million times, but the rest of this album also is so good. He was such an interesting songwriter, and, you know, it's like this mix of sort of You know, obviously the pop elements, there are some more progressive elements there. Expert songwriting, great arrangements, an incredible band around him. Yeah, Year of the Cat, really cool to add that for $1. Here's kind of the Traffic record that everybody forgets or doesn't talk about. Welcome to the Canteen. This came out, what, 71-ish? I could be making that up, on United Artists. I did not have this Traffic record, one of the only ones I didn't have. So yeah, Welcome to the Canteen, excited to have that. Here's some more Leon Russell. It came in, Stop All That Jazz. I think this was 1974, still on Shelter Records here. So yeah, excited for this, Stop All That Jazz. A really cool early American blues, rock and roll, hard rock band is Cactus. This is on stage in Puerto Rico and in the studio, Hot and Sweaty. Cactus is a great band, man. I think this might have been their third or fourth record. I got their first two, so awesome stuff. Cactus is just great, man. Just great early bluesy rock and roll. I don't have a clue what this is other than I saw it. It looks super psychedelic, and I can't find virtually anything on it. I just know I've seen this record a bunch of times, and it's called Music by the band Music. The record's name is Music. This came out in, I believe, 1970. Now, here's what I do know about this. It has David Bromberg doing some guitar on here. It was engineered by Eddie Kramer. This is, I think, psyche, bluesy pop stuff. Somebody help a brother out here. But again, I saw it for $1, was in really good condition. And I'm curious, led by Buzzy Linhart, Doug Rausch. Wait, Doug Rausch? Isn't that it? Didn't he go on to do something else? Gotta check into that. Anyway, if anybody knows anything about this record, let me know. All right, fair. This is a $1 record, but I love this guy, even into his early 80s. Why not add to the collection? And it's Santana, Z-Bop. This was, what, 81 or so? He's into weird, like, poppy, Latin, jazzy type of stuff here, but who cares, man? It's Santana. Let's get it going. Hey, I was just talking about this band a little bit ago. This is certainly after their heyday, but this is the 80s for sure, and it is the Pretty Things with Crosstalk. This copy here is a promo, which is pretty cool. Yeah, Pretty Things, you know, really they were well known big time for SF Sorrow and Parachutes in the late 60s. Did some cool stuff in the 70s with Savage Eye, Freeway Madness, and Silk Torpedo. I've never heard this record. I don't know if it's any good, but it's the Pretty Things, man. For $1, give me that shit all day. Hey, I've heard people talk about this record all the time. This to me is the type of band where I just need their live albums. And the only other record I have from them is their double live album. And they said, look, that one's good, but you need this one. And it's the Jay Giles Band live. Full house. Single live record. I've heard people talk about this, though, that is just all energy all the time. And I can't be more excited to have that. Okay, a comp that I probably didn't need, but again, it's $1. It's a comp. Best of Cream. I do have all the Cream stuff early, but you know, there's nothing wrong with having a good comp here. So yeah, Best of Cream for $1. All right, another banger. No idea how this was $1. Disc looks great. Everything is great. I do own this record, but again, for whatever. I'm tired of saying that for $1. The Slider from T-Rex. You know, between the Slider here and then the year earlier with Electric Warrior, man, what a 1-2 punch that is. I love T-Rex. I love Mark Bolan, man. I mean, this is just such a good record. I feel like Electric Warrior gets all the love, and everybody's like, yeah, and the Slider's also really good. I think they're on the same playing field, people, man. The Slider and Electric Warrior are both amazing. So yeah, to have this again, or to have another copy of that, hell yeah. Okay, John Lennon, Yoko Ono comp, why not? For the Beatle people out there, heck yeah, man, get you some shaved fish. I didn't have shaved fish. I got no use for shaved fish, but it was $1. Again, better than a McDouble. All right, cool. This looks dope. I see this record all the time. Usually it's like 10 or 15 bucks or whatever, and it just looks freaking creepy. And I'm kind of into it. Why not, right? The Flying Machine with The Flying Machine, also on Janus Records. Similar to that Kaya record earlier. You know, Janus had some proggy stuff for sure. I don't know how proggy this is. It looks proggy. It looks psychedelic. I've never heard this record in my life. If you know about The Flying Machine, let me know. Mr. Watermelon Man from Mongo Santa Maria, a Cuban percussion player, La Bamba. I do have a Mongo Santa Maria record again, old school, sort of, a little bit funky, a little bit jazzy, more soulful. And then here he's covering, of course, Herbie Hancock's Watermelon Man was kind of his hit or whatever. So really cool is a 2i stereo on Columbia Records. And last and certainly not least, we got through all that in less than 20 minutes. Let's go, people. I think an incredibly underrated band. They just had bad timing and they sound too much like Yes, but their records are great. And this is Citadel from Starcastle. Epic Records. If you don't know Starcastle, they really do sound like Yes Jr. But again, the timing just didn't work out very well for them. This was later 70s. I think this might have been 78, 77 or so. Yeah, so yeah, Starcastle, Citadel. I have, I think, 3 other Starcastle records. I actually really love them all, but this fits right in there where I need it to go. Citadel, what a record. And there you go, people. And just to top it right off, I want to let you all know that was 35 records I got for $35. I bought one other record that day, and that was $35. And it was the Rocktober issue of Summer Teeth from Wilco. I love Wilco. This is an amazing album, maybe my favorite of theirs that I've heard. And it just goes to show you, $35 for this, $35 for that entire stack I just showed you. That's record collecting, man. Thanks everybody for watching. Have a good rest of the day. We'll see you on the next one. Cheers, y'all. Bye.